Hello everybody and welcome back to the Oviedo Challenge here today. I'm here with my buddy pal, the 10th anniversary cup winner, Christopher Baez. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty good. How you doing yourself?
I'm doing great. We saw a great match. Depending on the perspective you want to look, between Carrie and Abdullah with the Ninetales and the Serum White against Shadow Rider. I'm getting a look from Carrie as I said that, but we are heading into round 3. I'm very excited to see, what we got these players up. We do have to keep in mind this is a 4-round switch, so we are 1 round away from being close to that top cut. All right. Is there any thoughts and, perspectives and stuff you want to give out so far, Chris? You've been, looking at it.
Yeah, I find both of the teams really interesting because both of them are my friends right now, so it's going to be hard rooting for either one.
Yeah.
I know that Joven is actually running the team that I ran at the local. We're actually team building partners, so this should be the exact copy
Breaking
unless
news.
you made any changes.
This is breaking news. This is breaking news.
I have really high faith in this team.
No, yeah.
But I know that with the hard Trick Room matchup, it is one of our most difficult ones.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really read heavy on both sides. So
yeah, we do get to see both of the players on stream. We do have Andrew Navarro versus Joven Texaria, or Texara. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
The names are flipped.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh,
Yeah.
Production.
Joven on the left.
Yeah.
And Andrew on the right.
Yeah. But we get to see both the Ice Rider versus Zamazenta. I believe the first time of each of these restrictors being shown up on stream during this time. We do get to see a similar version, actually, of the Zamazenta that actually Kobe ran, which is I think it's almost the exact same Zix of, with Zamazenta, Chen Pao, Fluttermane, Dragonite, Urshifu, and Amoonguss. Very interesting team we get to see here with Heavy Slam instead of that Behemoth Bash, which I don't know, what it could do against Andrew's Ice Riders team.
Yeah, this is going to be a little difficult because it is on the Terra Fairy, but I definitely know that through Zamazenta's high defense stat and next to Shenpao, we can definitely brute force it. We also don't even have to lead Zama. We can lead Urshifu with the Terra Water to kind of just chip down that Ice Rider. I think the scariest thing right now is facing that Smeargle because it can really get out of hand. I really think that Andrew is gonna identify that and bring Smeargle on that and try to probably lead with Calyrex to get that heavy Trick Room right away.
Yes.
Hopefully Amoonguss can come in clutch for that Trick Room matchup.
No, yeah, it is going to be a little bit difficult, especially with not only that Smeargle, but also that Blood Moon. Once it gets under that Trick Room, the Blood Moon can do massive damage with the Earth Power, especially holding that Life Orb, which will increase the damage output. But I'm a little bit more interested on Andrew's Choice Banded Urshifu Dark Single Strike. That's something you don't really see often as much.
Yeah, that is very surprising, especially with a Terra Grass. Normally you see that with Terra Poison.
Yeah.
So I think he's really scared of the Spore coming out.
I think he is, possibly for the Amoonguss matchup once it's set up under Trick Room. But
lots of Spore answers here.
No, yeah, I do believe we are going to be heading straight into our match. I'm very excited to see both of these players compete and battle it out to try to secure that spot into the top cut. We will be seeing the Ogerpon Farflame with the Ice Rider next to it, with Zamazenta and Urshifu on the side of Joven coming out.
Yeah, it looks over here that Mammoth actually didn't go with the Smeargle, which I'm a little surprised about, but Joven also went the Urshifu to kind of brute force the Calyrex.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting. I do believe this might be a possible just game 1, a follow me Trick Room play from Andrew, just to be able to just set up that Trick Room, since I think Andrew is identifying that most of the pieces on Joven's side are a lot faster than his, and just under that Trick Room, he's able to just outspeed and just do a lot of damage.
Yep, and I think we're going to have to see what Joven locks into here. I think he's really deciding whether he should go for the knockout in that Ogerpon with the Zamazenta, or he can also be reading with the Protect and try to do that, but I think that he also might try to identify the Follow Me Trick Room and pivot, but it looks like he locked into Surging Strike here to try to just do as much damage as he can to the Calyrex.
We are going to
and deny that Trick Room.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing a Terra coming out on Joven's side. It is going to be onto that Urshifu.
The Terra Water?
The Terra Water, increasing the Surging Strike's damage output. this may, depending on the bulk of Andrew's Ogerpon, it might be enough to pick up the KO, but time will tell. We will be seeing the Surge
no
Strike.
follow me at all.
No follow me going straight into the Calyrex, doing massive amount of damage. Andrew might have read that Joven was expecting him to go for the trick from follow me play, but I guess it's not. It will be doing more around 60% of damage into the Calyrex Ice Rider slot.
And this might be body press range.
Oh!
And it misses just barely.
It barely lives off one. We do see Ivy Cudgel going into the Zamazenta doing 11 because it is a critical hit.
Oh, and a Glacial Lance, and that looks like it's going to be picking out the knockout on Zamazenta. No Trick Room, though, from Mammoth.
That is an interesting play. Going offensive, not going the Trick Room route that I think we all anticipated here. And because of that, Chilling Nay will proc, be giving it a +1 into the boost. And now Joven's kind of in a little bit of a backseat. Losing your restricted turn 1 is something that you do not want to happen early on. We will be seeing the Dragonite come in, but while it can do damage because it's choice banded, it's gonna be a little bit tricky because that Ogerpon now, there's nothing stopping it from going for a follow me and just either going for a Trick Room on the Calyrex or just going for another Glacial Lance.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't think that he's going to be able to stop this, and especially that all his backlines on Joven's side is going to be weak to all the Glacial Lands. So if Andrew really gets that Trick Room up, then everything but the Mungus is going to be under stroke by the Calyrex.
Yeah, we will be seeing a Surgeon Strikes going into the Ogerpon slot, doing a little bit around, I think, 15% each roll. It will be putting it in a close enough range where possibly Dragonite will be picking up the KO no matter what. But it's interesting to see what it goes for. Oh, Ogerpon goes for Horn Leech.
And actually picking out the knockout on the Urshifu, surprisingly, with no grassy terrain.
Ooh,
it's supposed to be a very offensive Ogerpon then.
Yeah, it's a very offensive Ogerpon. Being able to pick up the Urshifu. Joven's resources are going down. The question is, where did the Dragonite focus their attack on? It did go into the Ogerpon. It will be able to pick up the KO, but because Ogerpon is going down, there's nothing stopping this horse to just hit the funny button of Glacial Lance. Yep. It will be picking up the KO onto the Dragonite, and I think, I don't want to call it
another +1 onto the Calyrex.
Yeah, I don't want to
come down to this solo Mungus.
Oh no, do we think a Mungus can clutch this?
Well, from my experience, I'm confident this Mungus does not overspeed the Calyrex, so it will be taking, unfortunately, a Glacial Lance, but we'll see. Maybe Mammoth can go for like a Trick Room here, but it's just going to be a forfeit on Joven's side.
Yeah, it seems like Joven is looking at the writing on the wall, realizing that there is no way for him to come back from this, and he decides to just take a step back and try to reanalyze this as Andrew takes map game 1. Honestly, Andrew played that really well, going for just going off the offense right off the bat, realizing that, hey, I could set up Trick Room here, but I think that's what they anticipate. Just being able to just remove that option is honestly a good job, and being able to just secure him to game 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think Joven's probably going to recognize that, and he might try to just go on the offensive as well going into this game too, rather than try to go for a heavier play to deny that Trick Room as well. But who knows, Andrew can come here and just reverse that and go for a harder Trick Room angle. But we'll see. We'll have to see what Joven locks into for his 4. He knows that he needs to bring Zamazenta to deny the Glacial Lances and the Hyper Voices. I'm curious if he's gonna bring maybe like the Shenpao to boost out the damage output and also get a Glacial Lance resist. But I also feel like he's gonna be bringing the Mungus to try to cover that Trick Room angle. So it's gonna be a difficult decision for Joven here.
Yeah, it's just gonna come down to what Andrew wants, especially now that he has 1 game up. Andrew could experiment if he really wanted to, going for a very unorthodox play of just going aggressive right off the bat. And if Joven were to read that, then it could put him a little bit in the backseat. But it's gonna be hard to tell, especially with Andrew's team. It can go either or. It has the slow mons of the Smeargle, the Indeedee, and the Blood Moon and the Calyrex, but it also has 2 fast aggressive options, both of the Ogerpon Heartflame and the Dark Urshifu that can just do so much damage and just honestly break most of Joven's pieces. It's gonna be a little bit interesting to figure out what Joven adapts into.
Yep. And Mammoth with that Terra Fairy Calyrex can also just respond with a Terra Fairy into that to just deny all the offensive play that Joven wants to throw out.
Yeah, it is going to come down to what these players both believe in and what they both think each other will bring into. honestly, this is going to be a very interesting set to see. I think we are going to be heading straight into game number 2, and I honestly want to see what these players adapt to and make their adjustments towards.
Oh, and it looks like the Smeargle is actually going to come up for game 2 on Mammoth's side.
Ooh.
And Joven's going to be leading the same thing of Urshifu and Zamazenta.
Ooh, yeah, we are going to be seeing the Urshifu and Zamazenta. This does feel a little bit more of a similar play from game 1 of just a possible follow me and Trick Room, but the Smeargle does have the option of just going for Fake Out. So if it were to go for a Fake Out play, just denying any damage output from either the Urshifu or the Zamazenta, it could be a little bit tricky depending on what Andrew decides to go for, but honestly, only time can tell.
Yep, I like the swap on Joven. If he gets the swap right on the Fake Out, he's going to break out Sash on Smeargle and possibly get the body press into it, just completely knocking it out. But it's really going to come down to that read. A lot of heavy pressure on Mammoth's side, Andrew's side.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit pressure on Joven. Joven has to find a nice ground just to be able to put his foot on and to just gain some momentum, because at any point, Andrew, all he could do is either step on the gas or just let it slow it down to a point that he can just, take it from there. We will be seeing the Amoonguss swap out on the Urshifu slide, and we are going to be seeing a Terra.
I think we need a Terra Fairy into the Calyrex.
Ooh, yeah, a Terra Fairy.
Predicting that body press maybe going into it.
Yeah, a Terra Fairy into the Calyrex slot. It seems like Andrew is not very happy of it going for a Amoonguss swap. We are going to see body press going straight into the Smeargle, bring it down to its Sash. Of course, it is just 1 HP. The question has to be asked, what did Smeargle go for? It's a Glacial Lands into the Zamazenta and Amoonguss, and it will be able to pick up the KO onto the Amoonguss, giving it a +1 because of Chilling Neigh. If Andrew went for a Spore onto the Zamazenta, then that might actually have a lot of
momentum
yeah,
to Andrew.
And he does get the Spore into the Zamazenta. That is not looking good for Joven.
Yeah, with Chien-Pao being in the back now, that's going to actually boost out the damage onto the Calyrex Ice Rider, making that +1 be even more effective into the Zama, pretty much denying that +1 defense that Zama already has. It's very uncomfortable for Joven right now with that Spore to the Zama, and now he's going to bring out the Urshifu here. Unfortunately, Urshifu probably won't be able to get any damage here because Zama won't be able to respond and dish out any damage back because it has to have that turn 0 sleep.
It's going to be a little bit tricky, but not only that, there is nothing stopping Andrew. Just instead of playing aggressive, just slowing it down and resetting that Trick Room. I keep believing the man will click the Trick Room button, but I don't know if he will. He has so much momentum. He has so many options to go for. At the end of the day, it just comes down to what he believes is the right call.
Yep, and we're going to see a possible Terra Water. I think Joven's going to read that he won't be clicking that Follow Me and maybe go for a really offensive. Andrew might go for a very offensive play here and just go for a Decorate and Trick Room angle and try to just steal the game with high horsepower into Zamazenta.
Yeah.
But we see the Terra Water come out. No more defensive Terra for Zama, trying to, with the Dragon, to deny a high horsepower. And there goes the Zama Sleep, and no Follow Me actually off of the Smeargle right now.
Yeah, it will be going for that Surging Strikes into the Calyrex slot, trying to do as much damage as it can. Although the water is being boosted by the Terra Water, it's still not enough. We already saw this damage output from game number 1. It will not be putting in a range for Calyrex to possibly be knocked out. We will be seeing another Spore into the Smeargle slot, and since we know the Smeargle was slower than the Ice Rider, it is safe to assume that he went for the Trick Room button, which he has. Now the speed has been shifted, and now looks like Andrew's 2 Mons are going to be the fastest Pokemon on the field. I don't know how he can get out of this. I don't know.
This is going to be rough. Yeah. I mean, hopefully the Zamazenta could. It can't be put to sleep again, but unfortunately he's going to burn another turn of sleep. And here comes the Decorate into Ice Rider. I think he's just going to be spamming the funny button, like you say.
The funny button of Glacial Lands. It will be increasing both of the Calyrex's attack power by 1. It lives off of 6 HP, which is phenomenal, but sadly, since Urshifu has to take its mandatory turn of sleep, there's just nothing Joven can do except hope that the Zamazenta can wake up and possibly find a way out from this Trick Room play. He needs both of his Mons to wake up this one turn, assuming that, the Urshifu can live either a high horsepower or a Glacial Lance coming up from this +3 Calyrex. Joven needs luck on his side, and he needs both of his Pokemon to not be a loopy dog.
And there goes Zamazenta actually waking up and being able to get the Protect off. Gonna buy Joven another turn. And let's see if what Mammoth goes into.
Oh my god.
Another Decorate.
Oh no,
He really wants to get this Zamazenta out of here.
He loves making this Calyrex Ice Rider pretty. It will be a Glacial Lance into the Zamazenta. How much damage output will be doing?
+5 Glacial Lance.
Will Urshifu live or will it go down?
Ooh,
it will go down.
Knockout.
It will be going down. And you know what? Because it went down, Chilling Neigh will activate. And I think for the first time in a long time, we'll be seeing a +6 Calyrex Ice Rider.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Here comes Shenpao, only reducing the defense even more for this max attack Calyrex.
I honestly think there's only one way out for Joven. It is just misses left and right. Hoping for a high horsepower miss. Hoping for something.
Double protect,
or double protect. Yeah, he needs Lady Luck on his side. I don't want to say it. I don't want to be biased. But I think the writing's on the wall. I think it is possibly that Andrew takes this at 2-0. I do not see a way for Joven to get out from this.
It's going to be hard, but if Lady Luck, as you said, she's going to get the double protect actually, running another turn of Trick Room, and with Shenpao being on the field, it's actually going to be unfortunately put to sleep. But with the damage boost from Shenpao, it should be able to allow Zamazenta, if Trick Room's out, to possibly get the knockout on Calyrex.
It will be going for a high horsepower into the Zamazenta, which means Chen Pao's Sash is still intact. But not only that, Chen Pao's being the slowest one on the field, it can do its mandatory turn of sleep. It just comes down to what Andrew decides to go for. If he decides to go for another high horsepower into the Zamazenta, he needs to hope that it lands. If he decides to go for a Glacial Lance, he needs to hope that Joven doesn't go for Wide Guard. We are going to be seeing a swap onto Andrew's side, into the Ogerpon, replacing the Smeargle. It is going to be able to, break the mold because of its ability. Wide Guard comes out. You just have to hope that it did not go for a Glacial Lance here.
And it's going to be a high horsepower, unfortunately. And Zamazenta with that is going to be knocked out.
Ooh.
Let's see if Shenpao will wake up, though, and possibly get a knockout onto the Calyrex. And it's going to be another turn of sleep,
It is another turn of sleep. Chen Pao is enjoying its little nap. While it is still possible for Chen Pao to possibly make a run and just crit everything on the field. I think we know what the writing is. I think we see
and
the
with
future.
that, Joven.
Yeah,
The run back.
yeah. Joven has forfeited the set and allowing Andrew to not only win the set going 2-0, but securing a spot going into Top Cut with a 3-0 record. I do not think it is possible for this man to not make Top Cut. Honestly, that was a set.
Yeah, it is a very negative matchup for Zamazenta going into this. Very read heavy. I think Joven played the best that he could going into that game 2. Andrew was just on top, responding with the correct leads as well as reads that he needed to get, and the sleep timers really helped Joven have no momentum.
Yeah.
All the momentum was on Andrew's side.
Lady Luck was just not on Joven's side, not being able to get the turn 1 sleeps, not being able to do anything to just help Joven out. Very unfortunate for both of these players, but it is nice to see Andrew Navarro in the Top Cut. Honestly, I'm going to be very excited to see whoever makes Top Cut, how they make the adjustments against this team. Because honestly, I don't even know if it's possible to break this team.
Yeah, it seems to be doing really good right now in this challenge. It's just taking out things left and right, but maybe on Top Cut there's going to be someone with an answer to this hard Trick Room. That could be the run for Andrew, but
yeah, only time
will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell, but don't you go anywhere. We will be right back with round number 4 in this Florida Oviedo challenge.